Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round two of the Australasian Supercar eSeries right here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Brought to you tonight by Ray Wright Rural in Gayndah in Queensland. They actually come on board at the moment and sponsoring the whole series at the moment. So we like that. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a little bit of a stop-start to the racing tonight with a little bit of a server issue, so we do apologise about that. But we're here on the InterSim Esports Network here on a Sunday night for round two of the Australasian Supercar eSeries right here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Joining me in the broadcast booth tonight, as always, is Paul Jackson. Paul, how are you tonight, mate?
Well, thanks, Aiden. How are you?
Mate, living the dream. We've done a little bit of Spa 24-hour stuff over the weekend. We've done a lot of other stuff over the weekend as well. So great to be here on a Sunday night on the InterSim Esports Network, broadcasting the Australasian Supercar eSeries here. So can't wait for tonight. If we look back on round one at Talladega, it's definitely going to be a great night tonight here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, mate.
It certainly is. I believe I was looking earlier, and the field has actually grown by several cars. So it's going to be even more intense, I think, tonight at Atlanta.
Yeah, it definitely is, mate. 100% agree with that. There's almost, I think, a 34-car field at the moment. We actually have Daniel Heddersheet in here as well, who jumped into NASCAR in the Cup Series last week for his first run, and he got the W. So he's going to be very strong tonight. But let's not talk about that before we get into the race. We do have up in the booth at the moment with us Peter Matson. Peter, mate, I'm sure you've got a copy. He is the man who's sponsoring the series at the moment for Ray Wright Rural out of Gayndah. So Peter, mate, you got a copy?
Yeah, roger that, Aiden and Paul. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, we're super happy to sponsor the series, and I think your numbers are growing because you put on an awesome event. Last week was outstanding. So and word spreads pretty quickly online.
Yeah, mate, exactly. And it's not about us. It's all about the Australasian Supercar eSeries, to be honest. They're the ones that put on the event. We're the ones that just talk and get amongst it. So definitely not about us, but all about the Australasian Supercar eSeries. But so good to see you guys with Ray Wright Rural in Gayndah get amongst it and support this series, mate. So, Pete, what were some of the reasons why you wanted to be in this series and why you wanted to support the Australasian Supercar eSeries? And more so, give us a little bit of an insight into your business and what you do and how you can help people.
Yeah, thanks, Aiden. Basically, Ray White is Australia's largest real estate business. We're located about 4 hours up from Brisbane and 2 hours inland from Bundy. So we sell property, everything from thousands of acres to small homes. But the purpose of supporting racing, which is completely different to property, it's really giving back to an industry that personally I enjoy, and I think when I see something that's well put together and run, we want to be a part of it. And yeah, it's a little bit of branding for us as well, and gets our name out there. We love doing up the cars and putting our logo on. But yeah, it is about supporting the community that's out there. The good bunch of drivers, and thoroughly enjoyed last week and some of last season racing with some of the same guys.
Yeah, well said there, Peter, and that's exactly right. We are an iRacing community, and I've always said that on every broadcast that we have had, Paul, and I'm sure that you will agree with that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, that's Paul Matson from Ray Wright Rural in Gayndah in Queensland. So if any of you guys are looking for a little bit of a rural property or looking for a property in general up through that area of Queensland, I'm actually very close to Peter myself, so I know it is a really, really beautiful place to live. So whether you're looking for property there, looking to relocate and do that, get amongst that and get in contact with Peter, I'm sure he'll help you out. But Peter, thank you so much for making yourself available before we go into the race tonight, mate. And I'll be sure to bring you up into the broadcast later on and give you a little bit more plugs. But, mate, from us at the IndySim Esports Network and everyone from the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries, thank you for getting on board, mate. It's really, really great. And we look forward to seeing your ongoing support moving into the back end of the season.
Yeah, thanks, Aiden. Look forward to it, and see you on track sometime.
Yeah, possibly if I can get from behind the mic. But PJ, there's Peter Matson, and mate, what a great job by Ray White Rural Gander to get on board, mate.
Yeah, we've got to give them a big shout out. It's always good for people coming on board and sponsoring these sort of events, and even if it is an online thing, but still it's word of mouth and helps get the name out there, especially for them and ourselves.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And you mentioned it was an online thing, but it's an online thing. But we all know the way society is, and with all the businesses and everything going around the world, sometimes online is spreading a lot quicker than as traditionally when we were growing up, mate. When we had no mobile phones and we had nothing, it was all through the paper. Everything spreads really quickly through the social world. So that's why these businesses are jumping on board and trying to get amongst it and get their name out there. And it's definitely happening. So really interesting and great for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries to have Ray Wright Rural on board for the season after round one. But we need to refocus a little bit now, Paul, because we're into practice. We're nearly about to go into qualifying, and round one was sensational. We had a great job by all the drivers and a great driver. And there's your teammate there right on board, Barry Neal. That's good on cue by you, Paul. But it was a great race at round one at Talladega. But now we go to Atlanta. So it's going to be great to see what happens tonight at Atlanta around this track, because I don't think we can do 3 wide in a supercar around Atlanta. But if they can, they're better than me. But looking forward to this one, Paul. What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, I did manage to jump in and turn a couple of laps earlier, and I can definitely say there's going to be a lot of tyre wear here. So they will have to watch out for that one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the bigger grid tonight than last week. There's going to be a little bit more strategy come into it, I think, tonight on possibly the tyre and fuel saving as well. So that's probably what I'm looking forward to tonight. But the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is a few new names again in here, and I'd like to see one of them maybe get up there.
Yeah, most definitely. There's some really good drivers in here, some different names. Daniel Heddersheed, who won the last round of the NASCAR Cup Series as well. Ruben Phelps is in here tonight for his first time, who's my teammate, who you just jumped on Barry Neal earlier. So there's my little dig and shout out to Ruben. So Ruben in P11. Who else we got in here? Sam Katakouzenos. He will definitely be quick. He's always quick. Williams is up there. Like, there's so many drivers. This is just going to be a great night tonight here on the IndySim Esports Network.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're looking at currently we've had 32 drivers take a lap, and there's still 3 in the pit bay that haven't turned a lap yet. So 35 car field tonight from 27 the other week. So must be doing something right to have the numbers grow like that.
Yeah, they definitely are. They most definitely are. And this is why we love bringing this to you here on a Sunday night on the IndySim Esports Network for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Michael Shaw, who was very unfortunate last week, Paul, in his race. He was up there in the top 3 or 4, and in the last couple of laps, he really, really got caught up in something that was not his fault, and he was on for a definite top 3. So I'm sure Michael Shaw there for Activity Hub Barley Racing's looking at making a better result tonight out of the race that he had that could have been last week.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely had the strategy locked in there of just running around the back at Talladega and keeping out of trouble and keeping that car clean. And he was looking very promising for a podium finish there, if not winning the race. And yeah, just that last lap, everyone the claws and elbows came out, and it was a bit hectic on that finish line.
Yeah, it definitely was, but that's usually what it is around Talladega, as you know, Paul. So you got to get yourself in the position to win it at the late stages in the last couple of laps, rather. But you get there, and that can happen. But great drive by Shorey anyway in the Activity Hub Bali racing car, rather, to be able to put himself in a position to get in the position to be able to win that race. So looking forward to tonight, mate. I'm really looking forward to tonight. It's a little bit of a different track at Atlanta, definitely different to Talladega. It's not a super speedway. We do have the tri-oval. It is different. Tyre wear is going to play a little bit of a key, not so much in these supercars, but it definitely will play a key. Keeping out of trouble will as well, and transferring through that pit lane. So Atlanta Motor Speedway for the second round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. We really don't know. Like we said last week, Paul, we can talk about it all we want now, but I'll guarantee you in an hour and a half's time, we'll be talking about something completely different.
Yeah, more than likely, and a big lose there from Dwayne Priest. But we've only got a minute and a half now to go until all the drivers take on the qualifying, and we'll see who puts it on pole.
Yeah, looking at the practice at the moment, I'm sort of struggling having a look at what they are at the moment. Just from my end, Paul, it's a little bit blurry. So I do apologise, viewers, for not being able to see who's at the top at the moment. I can see Barry Neal is right up there. Todd Maxfield there in P7. Terry Marwood, P8. Jamie Nankervis, P9, Gary Wellman, P10, Ruben Phelps in P11. So don't know whether that's my internet issue at the moment, but a little bit blurry, but I'll be able to catch you up on that. But Paul, if you can see that, feel free to take over that at the moment. And we're about to go into qualifying. But yeah, don't know what's happening there. That could be a little bit of my internet, but really struggling to get that up on my screen. But we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Paul will talk you through it for the next 30 seconds, and I'll make sure that that issue is rectified.
No worries. So yeah, currently from practice we have Aaron Dillon sitting in P1, followed by Darren McKenzie and Steve Williams for P3. But what happens in practice can certainly change up what happens in qualifying. So the practice just run out there. So yeah, we're going to take to the line, and everyone's going to put their cards on the table for qualifying.
Yeah, and I've got it now sorted, Paul, so we're all good, mate. Sorry to throw you under the bus there, but we are here now for round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. We go into qualifying at the moment. We see on screen Gary Wellman from Simboys Racing coming out and about to set his lap time early. So, Paul, he's not letting anything to chance. He's going to set his lap early. And Gary's been running really, really well lately through the ANS car, through everything else he's done. He's been driving really well. So don't be surprised to him to put a good lap down tonight and put the car at the front. But these Sim boys, I'll guarantee you, mate, as you'll be more than welcome to agree with me, with these supercars and ovals, they've got it sorted, because Aaron Dillon is the reigning champion in this series.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely saw a strong showing from the Sim Boys last week, when majority of their cars were all in the top 10, even the top 5. So they definitely want to be known for being up there and showing their pace, as we know they all have.
As we see there, Gary Wellman just got a purple sector, now gone back to green, but really struggling now. I don't know whether that's my internet again, but Struggling to see who's completely at the top with that tower, but we've got Darren McKenzie currently at the top as we go through. Gary Wellman sitting down there in P4, I think. Jaden Russell, 5. I don't. Steve Williams just gone to the top there, Paul. Sorry, Paul. I'm just trying to catch up with what I can see on the tower, so I do apologise. Who else have we got there? Wellman looks like he's gone backwards at 1,000,000 miles an hour through his qualifying lap. But this DPR car of Stephen Williams, this will definitely... Paul, you and I have raced against him in lots of different leagues, so definitely don't be surprised if this simrigs.com car makes itself to the front at the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely. Stephen Williams, you know, he is quite a fast driver there, and he is well known across the Australian scene, and not only ovals, but yeah, he's definitely got the pace on tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, he seems like he's got it under his belt. Sam Katakouzanos at the moment sitting back there, I believe, in P8 or P7. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at that. I believe it's P7 or 8. He is one to watch out for as well, Paul. He ran our Indosim Esports Network switch-up series and was actually second place in that one. So he's going to be a driver to look out for. Another one tonight to look out for, Reese May. Sitter for the first round of the series this year. So he had an unfortunate incident early on. Also, Shannon Wright, he got a podium this week as well. And Jamie Nankervis, which I'm not sure whether is in at the moment, but...
I think Aiden's just having a little bit of technical difficulty there, so I might just jump in for a minute. Seemed a bit laggy. But Jamie Nankervis currently sitting in 20th, and he's just jumped all the way to P4. So we did see him put it on pole last week, finishing in P2. So he's definitely want to back that result up from round 1 going into round 2.
Apologies there, Paul. My internet just had a little bit of a heart attack, so I do apologise, mate. I hope you've got me back there live. So, oh, that's better. Oh, my internet's completely got better. So I do apologise there, Paul. It completely stuffed out on me. So I've got it now and I can see everything. So, yeah, mate. Round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, mate. And that's qualifying done and dusted at the moment, mate.
Yeah, so we just saw Kate Donnelly there jump to P1. So another Simboys driver. And... yeah, he just tipped Steve Williams there across the line, so looks like he is going to be our pole sitter for round 2.
Yeah, definitely. Kate Donnelly always quicken these cars around a oval track, so we're just about to go through the starting grid for round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, and off pole we'll see Kate Donnelly. Out of P2 we'll see Stephen Williams. P3 Jaden Russell. P4, Darren McKenzie. P5, Jamie Nankervis, coming off a solid result last week at the first round at Talladega, out of P5. Greg Spencer straight out of his 24-hour race in P6. A great solid job there by Greg. Adam Malone, P7. Dwayne Priest, P8. Daniel Heddersheed, first time in the series. Great driver out of New Zealand as well in P9. Sam Katakouzanos in P10. Lachlan Capel out of P11 and Todd Maxfield out of P12. Paul, I'll let you pull them through the rest of the field.
And P13, Justin Howe. P14, Peter Matson, so one of the sponsors for Ray White Rule Gander there. P15, Reese May, and P16, Gary Wellman. Our round 1 winner, Christopher Finley, starting out of P17. Followed by my teammate Barry Neal for Altera Racing in P18. P19, Andy Barber and Ruben Phelps in P20. Your teammate there, Aidan. P21, Aaron Dillon, followed by P22, Shannon Wright, Brett Campbell, P23, and Ben Stewart, P24. And we've got another page to flip over there.
Yeah, and as we roll over to the next page, it looks like Troy Davidson is out of the next row with Nigel Payton. Mick Rush followed closely behind him with Aaron Norswell, or Ewan, sorry, not Horswell, in behind him. Scott Perkins out of P29. Scott McClintock bringing out P30. Terry Marwood, P31. Justin Witcher, who's just come straight off the 24 hour as well, out of P32. It looks like he didn't set a lap. Michael Shaw, who was so close to a win last week, out of P33. Raymond Yeager straight off the 24 hour and P34. And Dylan Gray rounding out the 35 car grid here on round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here from Atlanta Motor Speedway on the InterSim Esports Network. So, Paul, they have put up the revs, they have got the cars underway, and we are about to go and sit for 130 laps in supercars around Atlanta.
Yep, so yeah, better buckle down and hold on tight, because this is going to get wild.
Most definitely, and we say that all the time, but on InterSim Esports Network, it definitely gets wild all the time. Every race we call, it seems like we'll sit here for 30, 40, 50, 80 laps, and for the last 20 laps, I end up absolutely losing my voice. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in here on the InterSim Esports Network on a Sunday night for the Australasian Supercar eSeries, buckle in. Do not go away. Watch it for the next couple of hours and watch and see these guys, some of the best sim racers in Australia in these supercars around an oval, come and send it and show you some great racing here on the InterSim Esports Network Switch Up Series. But the leader is now bringing us to the green at the moment, and we are green here for round 2 of the Australasian Esports. Anyway, Australasian Supercar eSeries. Sorry, guys, I was a little bit out of my moment then because my internet disconnected earlier and I was trying to catch up what we're doing. But anyway, we're about to go 3 wide as we do here in the supercars. So, Paul, pull us through the first couple of laps, mate. Talk the viewers through it.
So, yeah, Kate Donnelly taking the start with the green flag there, but he's quickly dropped back to P3 with Darren McKenzie taking over the lead of the first lap here at Atlanta. And we actually saw Steve Williams and Greg Spencer start from pit lane, so I think they were looking just to avoid a bit of confliction on the first couple of laps.
Yeah, that's a very interesting call from them, whether they've done that or whether they couldn't connect. But we both know in these supercars, draft is a big thing. So unless they're banking on a caution, if there's no caution, they're going to really struggle to get back to the front of this race. But definitely not smart, if that's a word for it. It is a smart move if there is, because they're going to keep their car nice and clean and make it solid towards the end. But at the moment, as we see at the moment, the guys running through the top, they're actually being very, very sensible at the moment. You do have Aaron Dillon there pushing up on the inside. Jaden Russell's up there as well. Looks like my internet's playing up a little bit again because I can't really see the tower, but they're doing great at the front. Aaron Dillon's just sitting there. I know Aaron Dillon because of his livery, so they're doing a great job at the moment. Jamie Nankervis is up there as well. So, mate, great start to round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the InterSim Esports Network.
Definitely, and looks like Dwayne Priest and Todd Maxfield from Lads Racing wanted to show the boys how the lads do it here on round 2. So they're going to be giving them a bit of their run for money, I think, tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. They'll be there. They'll be sitting there working together, as they always do, mate. They will be working together. They're not silly. They know this is a long run. It is a definitely long race, 130 laps at the moment. We're only a couple of laps in. The driver, I'm really interested to see how he comes out tonight is Daniel Heddersheed there back in P7, I believe it is. First night out. He does a lot of supercar racing in the roadside, and on his own admittance and talking to me on PMs today, didn't really know a little bit about running these cars around oval, but I tell you what, he's showing a clean set of heels at the moment in P7, so he's definitely one to look out for. Barry Neal, also your teammate, and I'm not even going to pronounce your team name, mate, because I get it wrong every time. Barry Neal is going to be definitely one to look out for as well. Reese May, who put it off pole in the first round, is currently sitting back there in P15. He's probably got a little bit of a change of a mindset tonight, Paul, I think. Maybe not to get up the front and just try and get through and see how he gets to the end. So we'll see how we're going. Shannon Wright's doing a great job as well up there into P17, who was a podium place getter in the first round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. So, yeah, she's settled down pretty well, and the drivers are being very well behaved, which is very surprising, to be honest. Usually you do get that early race caution, but they're being really behaved at the moment, Paul.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see some green racing here, and unlike the super speedways where they bring out a few cautions here, we might see this run green for a little while, but don't want to put that commentator's curse on that one. And yeah, I'm sure these boys will be loving a few good hard fought laps here if they can go green for a while.
Yeah, they'll just be settling in behind their car, trying to get a feel of what the car's going to do over a long run at the moment, because we're lap 10 into 130, so I think they're thinking we're not going to have a caution for a little while. But this is the quality of racing here on the Australasian Supercar eSeries. These cars go 2-3. Oh, as I've just put the commentator's curse on, they were driving so well. Looked like Cade Donnelly got into Justin Howe. But that was non-intentional, of course, as these drivers never intend to wreck each other. So you look at the size of that field and how they're going at the moment. It is great side-by-side racing, but great clean set of heels at the front. Oh, as we're about to go yellow, Justin Howe in the fence. I think I've just commentated cursed it, Paul.
What are you doing there, homeboy?
Yeah, I did see him starting to drop back in that grid a fair bit, so I went back there to just have a look, and next minute, yeah, the accident happened there. So we might just grab a replay on that, and we'll see what actually happened there.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go over a replay of what happened with Justin Howe. Oh, looked like he'd hit the wall previously, and the gentleman behind him didn't really have the brakes and get off the brakes and completely cleaned it up. So it looks like that's night over for Justin Howe, unfortunately, there, Paul.
Yeah, could quite be. I'll just see if we can get back a little bit further there, just to see the initial hit on that one. So if you give me a minute.
You're right, mate. All the time in the world. I'll actually, while Paul's going and do that, ladies and gentlemen, everyone tuning in here on the Indosim Esports Network, I might actually go and have a look if we can have a chat to one of the drivers while we are under caution, and bring you a little bit of content to see what's going on inside the driver's mind. But we'll just quickly go back to the replay of what happened here. We've got the Sim boys there running together. It looks like, oh, there we go there. So the middle line just ran straight up into his teammate, I think that was. They looked like very similar cars, so ran straight up onto the inside, obviously put Justin Howe up into the wall. He's just trying to bring it down nicely. He would have had a lot of damage. There's Reese May on the inside at the moment. Everyone's going past. He's hit the wall, and it looks like as we go really slowly. Oh, he's hit the wall again, Justin Howe. It looks like, I don't know how this car behind him's even hit him because it's happened that far earlier. Unless he has pulled across the front. Here it is now. Yeah. Oh, that's the simrigs.com entry of Stephen Williams, I believe.
There was just a steamroller straight through him.
Yeah, that happened about 2 minutes before he even got to that accident. So not sure what happened there with Stevie Dubb because usually he drives a little bit better than that. So, but hey, we're not in the driver's seat, so we don't really know what's happening there. But unfortunate incident for all those drivers. But we'll definitely bring someone up into the booth shortly. I just want to have a look and see who we're going to talk to. Definitely, I'm not going to pull Barry Neal up here because we know what he's like. He doesn't really want to get amongst it.
I'm sure we'll talk to him at the end of the night, but
I'll guarantee you we probably will, mate. I think we've still got 2 to green, so we've got plenty of time to bring someone up into the booth. We might actually do something different here. Let's okay, well, we won't bring them up. We'll let them go racing. We're not going to worry about that now, as it looks like Barry Neal is about to bring us to the green.
yes, I think there are a few pit stops under that caution, which moved some of these back runners further up into the front of the pack here.
Yeah, it definitely has, but it's a long way to go, as we know. Phelpsy's doing a good job there, up there in P4 as well. I believe he's P4. I'm struggling, Paul, just with the top 4 to be able to see that at the moment. Yeah, okay, so Ruben Phelps in P2. Straight off into another caution. So now it might be a time we might be able to talk with one of the runners, but I do apologise, Paul, with my internet, with what I'm saying. Usually we don't have this issue on the InSim Esports Network. There's no issue, but it's struggling to let me see the top 4 with how fast my internet is going. But
that's right.
Paul,
well,
I'm sure you're covering me.
Yeah, if you want to grab someone, we'll just see what happened for that caution on that restart there, and we can have a chat with someone.
Yeah, most definitely, mate. We'll definitely do that, and we might, like I said, we might bring. Oh my God, Todd Maxfield, NK Donnelly. All right, so we might bring up someone different and give him a little bit of exposure. And it's not about the people at the front; it's just bringing someone up into here and give him a chance. So we have just brought up Michael Shaw. Shawry, mate, have you got a copy?
I do, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, mate, we got you. Mate, coming off an unfortunate incident in the last corner last week when you were on for a top 3, just doing your usual thing, mate, keeping the car clean. That Activity Hub Barley racing car, that VF Commodore looks very, very clean at the moment. So pretty much of a similar mindset tonight to just try and keep that clean towards the end.
Yeah, mate, that's exactly the same what I done last week. Just keep it clean, stay at the back, and just let everything play out in front of me, and then start making my move the last few laps and see where I end up.
And did you see what happened in that last caution? Anything for the viewers there? Because we did go back and see it on the broadcast, but did you have anything from your driver's view on what happened there?
No, well, I was sort of concentrating on my own thing. I didn't really see what happened, but just drivers just not being patient, I guess. Yeah. So I honestly don't know exactly what happened, but can't win it on the first lap.
Yeah, definitely, but you didn't definitely lose it. But mate, before we let you go, I know it's been a hard time for you with Activity Hub over in Bali and doing all the stuff with your business. So we'll give you a chance, as we always do. Everyone we bring up, a little bit of a shout out to your business, everything you do. I know you've done other stuff in business lately, but I know you're waiting for this silly coronavirus thing to go over so you can go and concentrate on your activity hub stuff over in Bali. But a big shout out to everything that you want to shout out to before we let you go, mate. And hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the broadcast.
Yeah, cool. Every business is hard at the moment, but really, if I got the chance, I just want to give all my friends and all the people over in Bali my best wishes, and they're going through a harder time than what I am, and I wish all them all the best.
No worries, Michael. Great words there, mate. But we'll just let you get up back into your race, and we thank you for making yourself available here at round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the Indosim Esports Network. So, Michael, we'll let you go, and we wish you all the best in this race, and hopefully we're talking to you up in the broadcast booth for getting a podium tonight.
Thanks, Aidan. I appreciate it.
No worries. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Shaw. We've brought up someone different into the broadcast booth. We did speak to him last week. We will bring up someone else as well. But Paul, this race hasn't disappointed so far as we're 18 laps through 130. We're already on our second caution, but we've got to have a look there. Terry Marwood up into P2. He was up in the top positions last week as well. Troy Davison in P3, Capel P4. Yeah, very interesting grid at the moment and how this race is playing out. Reese May is going to be that silent assassin right back there in P18. Not sure how it's going to play out from that perspective. Barry Neal's obviously gone in the pit stop and dropped back to P9, but we definitely know we'll be calling him at the end of the race, but you'll know more about his strategy than me, mate.
Oh, I don't think he gives that one away to even me sometimes. But yeah, there's definitely a couple of front runners there that unfortunately in the early stage of the race have had a few mishaps there. Aaron Dillon and Cade Donnelly, and along with Steve Williams. Unfortunate thing there, just ploughing straight through Justin Howe's car there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, Paul. That's really, really odd. But obviously there was something happen we didn't see. But we're about to go green again now with Dylan Gray for the second round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. And I'm sorry to cut you off there, Paul, but we needed to go green. So I do apologise there. Marwood there on the outside, P2, Capel in P3 sitting. So we see Terry Marwood now take the lead around 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. So these guys definitely want to get out in front and get out of the rubbish, so it seems. So Terry Marwood doing a great job there in P1, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. He had a couple of misfortunes last week, which he retired from the race a little bit earlier than he would have liked, but he came in and spotted there for his teammates Jamie and Shannon Wright, and helped them get P2 and P3.
Yeah, definitely. So we just saw Daniel Heddersheed making a big move down there, I believe, into P2. He was nearly on the apron getting under there. He was not making any prisoners, but I believe Wellman and Capel were not making it easy for him. But Daniel Heddersheed has now made his way up into P2, and he's going to have eyes forward on Terry Marwood. But unfortunate in these cars, Paul, as you know, running them, Terry Marwood's now a sitting duck, because the way that these cars run, they're not like a NASCAR. You cannot just run like that. So Terry Marwood's going to be a sitting duck, and don't be surprised we see Daniel Heddersheed draw up on the back here of Terry Marwood as we see it's happening right now, mate.
Yeah, Terry had a great start there, looking to try and put a bit of a gap there, but unfortunately the draft in these cars do pull you right back into it at a very strange time when you think you're out of it, and suddenly you just get sucked straight back into it again.
Yeah, the thing I'm worried about is the Holden Racing Team car there on the inside is doing a lot of blocking early, and we're only 20-odd laps into 130, and he was blocking Barry Neal down the back straight. And I think that's Lachlan Capel Lachlan maybe needs to just back it off a little bit and understand that the race needs to be won on lap 130 and just chill. But we can say that from a commentary perspective, but we're not in the car. The way that Lachlan's moving backwards at the moment, I think he might have a little bit of damage. I'm not quite sure, but that car is definitely not solid underneath him at the moment. So we'll see what happens as this stint rolls forward. But currently we do have Heddersheed in second, Terry Marwood currently leading. We have Heddersheed making that run for the outside. So great job by Daniel Heddersheed, first time in the series coming in and now taking the lead in the Australasian Supercar eSeries at the moment. But Terry's going to hold it tough there on the inside. He's not going to make it easy for him. So he's there, I believe, Gary Wellman there, who's had a great run over the first couple of weeks or last couple of weeks in his sim racing endeavours, having another solid effort tonight there, sitting in P3. So he's definitely not going to make it easy for anyone as well. Who have we got up in P4? I can't quite. Dylan Gray into P4, sorry. Still struggling to see those top four, but I'm trying to go on liveries, ladies and gentlemen, so I do apologise. And yeah, Daniel Heddersheed gets the lead of the race. Terry Marwood not leaving it to him at all. They're definitely trying. Gary Wellman on the outside. Dylan Gray nearly in the... Oh, my God. Dylan Gray nearly right up into Gary Wellman. That would have been really unfortunate for Gary because he is a long-run racer and he has had a great drive in the last couple of weeks. So it looks like he's now glitching out as well. I can't really see him on track, but Daniel Heddersheed with a clean head of steam up there in P1, having a great drive in that car at the moment. We will hopefully be able to speak to him tonight during the race. Not sure whether he's in the Discord, but the way he's driving at the moment, we might be speaking to him at the end. But there it is. There's Block City as May. It's that. No, that's not May. Dylan Gray takes the lead from Daniel Heddersheed. My apologies, guys. We're trying to catch up. Things happen so much in these cars around Oval, so you do need to bear with us. But looks like Dylan Gray's now taken the lead. Terry Marwood still there, sticking on the inside, keeping it tough, making everyone solid. So he is there. Gary Wellman's recovered from that little incident there, and he is sitting there in P5. So great job by him as well. But great driving by all the drivers tonight, Paul. We're here on round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, and we might just take a little bit of stock, otherwise I'm going to run out of breath. Mate, first of all, it's so great to be able to broadcast this for the guys. As we see Barry Neal there making a move for second and third, as we probably should concentrate on that, as Barry Neal is making the move into P1. But the fact that we have the opportunity to broadcast this for the Australasian Supercar eSeries and be here on a Sunday night is a great thing. We love that. As we said earlier in the broadcast, they have brought on a new sponsor as well with Ray Wright Rural Gander, which is a great thing for the Australasian Supercar eSeries to be able to bring all this content to you guys. So we're just a broadcaster, but it's all about the series and everything at the moment and what Australasian Supercar eSeries brings to all the viewers. So, mate, it's such a great thing for us to be a part of it, but even better thing for the Australasian Supercar eSeries to get all this support, and let alone, like, look at all these drivers tonight, 34 drivers. It's such a sensational series. As we go into lap 32 or 130. So as I just said, yeah, definitely a sensational series here for the Australasian Supercar eSeries. They're doing a great job bringing everything to you, but Barry Neal is currently leading, and my internet's finally catched up with me, so that's very positive. So now I can call the race properly. Gary Wellman now around the outside of Barry Neal, trying to make that move for P1. Dylan Gray in P3. Dylan's going to definitely want to make a move the way Dylan's raced this car early. Daniel Heddersheed, as Daniel nearly gets checked up there by Dylan Gray. You saw he put his brake lights on there, so great job there by Daniel. Terry Marwood, who was leading this race early, sitting up there in P6. Looks like Jaden Russell's just made the move there underneath him into P5. Looks like Barry Neal and Dylan Gray have got into each other. Didn't look like any of them wanted to. Didn't look like either of them wanted to back out. If they could have, either one have backed out, they wouldn't have got into that situation. But hey, we're commentators again, Paul, so we can sit here and say what we did. But that won't be too much damage for either of those. So we'll definitely be talking to Barry later. But I think some of these moves that are being made early maybe need to be made on lap 120, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. The elbows are always out in these supercars on oval, and it's always door to door and banging with each other. But yeah, they just sort of need to all find their groove, sit in, and obviously everyone wants a turn at the front there. As you know, you get bonus points for leading a lap here, and everyone wants to try and get as many bonus points as they can for leading a lap and most laps led and that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. But I know me from a racer and someone that's made a lot of those mistakes myself and still make them regularly every week. I would much rather just have a solid finish, but we can sit there and say what we think. But at the end of the day, this is what creates great content here on the IndySim Esports Network. So, Paul, here we are, round 2 of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries here on the IndySim Esports Network on a Sunday night. And we currently have Gary Wellman running around in P1, Daniel Heddersheed there in P2. He's definitely sitting there. He's just like the tiger. He's just waiting to strike. I'll guarantee it. Daniel might say that he's a little bit novice, as you say, on the ovals, but he's done a lot of racing in these supercars, and he's a wily old fox. He's actually now just recently joined with Natari Autosport through the NASCAR ranks, so he will definitely be there at the end, and it's great from the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries to have Daniel Heddersheed in the car and on board tonight, or Heddersheed rather. I don't know if we're talking to him on the broadcast at the end of the race. We'll tell him ask him how to pronounce it. But great job to see him there in P2. Jaden Russell, J. Russ, he's always does a great job, J. Russ. Hobo 88's teammate in other stuff. If you guys don't know of Hobo 88, jump on to YouTube and have a look at him as well. So he does a lot of streaming and stuff. So they're a part of Synergy Sim Sports. So J. Russ doing a great job there, P4. Sam Katakuzanos, we spoke about earlier, Paul, who was actually second in our inaugural IndySim Esports Network Switch-Up Series, sitting there on P4. He's great at everything he does, so he's having a nice, solid drive tonight in P4. Sorry to make you click so quick, because I know everything's happening really quick, but Marwood's doing a great job as well, Mackenzie as well, Raymond Yeager, who is the minds of this series, as well as Greg Spencer and Justin Witcher, Nigel Payton, all those guys sitting there in P8 as well. So, mate, we're about to settle down, I reckon, for the next 30 or 40 laps and bring the rest of the content to the viewers.
I don't know if there is such thing as settling down in these, but...
Well, I was just hoping for a break, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get one.
Nah, you're on call 24/7. While we're broadcasting anyway.
Yeah. But great job there, mate. But Paul, this race, the way it's panning out, I know you're not used to being behind the microphone, and it's really great for you to jump in there and help me out and do that type of stuff, as Peter's off doing his other stuff with his own broadcasting network, and it's so great for us to be able to bring the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries here to you on the IndySim Esports Network. But What are you enjoying the most about being behind the mic? What are you enjoying the most about the racing that you've seen here with the race and a half that we've had of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries?
Yeah, it's a bit of fun just to have a bit of a chat and commentate on what's going on. And if anyone's been thinking about doing it, there's always chances with either us or other broadcasters as well. People are always looking for co-commentators if you want to try a hand at it. I think this week it's a bit easier as I did set up a mute and unmute bind or hotkey rather, so the mouse is moving a little bit less than it was last week.
Yeah, and that's the pleasures of broadcasting, Paul. I was sitting there for about 4 hours today with you, and we're looking at that, and we're doing that, and we're all learning. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just the voice, and Paul's the voice in behind me as well, helping me out. But he creates everything that you see visually here on the Sim Esports Network. So the fact that he can be here and broadcasting or commentating while he's bringing these images to you, he's an absolute champion. So I love it. Into Sim Esports Network, like Paul did say, if you are looking at getting into commentary or you're looking at doing anything, we're always open to people to come in and give us a hand and have a bit of commentary experience and see what it's like behind the scenes and see what it's like in behind these races as opposed to being in the car. So we're more than welcome, but also there are other channels as well that we have great friends with through the iRacing community that are also looking for that as well. So if you do want to do any of that, we're more than welcome to help you out. That we are all a big iRacing community, and that's what we did pride ourselves on all with the Sim Esports Network. It's not about us, it's all about the iRacing community. So we want to build that. We want to build the audience for everyone. We want to build everything for the drivers. We want to build everything for the community. So that's what we're about. It's not about us, but we are now into lap 47 of the second round of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. And Sammy K, surprise, surprise, who's at the front, Paul?
Yeah, definitely. We knew he'd be one of the guys that would make his way up the front there.
Yeah, definitely. Gary Wellman, who's had a great couple of weeks, as I've said early in the broadcast, right there behind him. Mackenzie there in third. Jay Russ in fourth, doing a great job. Looks like Raymond's just made the move up there into 5. He's dropped back a little bit there, old Jaeger. Raymond would be a little bit tired tonight after his big 24-hour ordeal, so he's doing a great job right up there in the top 5 at the moment. But that paint looks familiar, Paul. I think someone might have painted it.
Yeah, I wonder who that could be. But that rear bumper definitely looks pretty good, doesn't it? With the Intersim on the back there. But no, did a paint job up for Raymond, Greg, Justin, who's one of the sponsors as well for Witcher Electrical, as you see on the car there. And he's one of the sponsors for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries there. They're also joined by Nigel and Matt Padden in that team. So I think they've just started a new team venture altogether, Pinnacle Esports Racing.
Yeah, and it's a great livery you did there for him, Paul, but a good thing that you mentioned the sponsors, because we did speak a lot about Ray Wright Rural out at Gayndah, and they are the naming rights sponsor of this series, but we do need to have a little bit of a shout out to the other little sponsors, or not little sponsors, we can't say that, the other sponsors of the series. So Witcher Electrics, they are another sponsor of this series, which has provided, as every time I talk, there's a big yellow. But I'll quickly get through that before we go and cover that yellow. Witcher Electrics, with sponsoring the series as well. AP Esports sponsoring a trophy to the winner of the series as well, which is actually my streaming network. So I'm happy to support that as well through the Australasian Supercar eSeries. So AP Esports as well. Also, all the drivers and everyone that jumps into this series every single week. So, yeah, we've got Ray White Rural Gander as the naming rights sponsor. This is the Ray White Rural Gander Australasian Supercar eSeries. That is a tongue twister. Yeah, we've got that, and of course, Witcher Electrics and AP Esports. So we're now under caution here, 52 laps into round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, Paul, and we're about to see what happened in that caution. Whoever that was is doing a great. That's in car 27. Car 27 did a good. Looks like that was Jaden Russell. Yeah, very unfortunate for those guys. Jaden Russell was running very strong there at the front and got caught up in an incident. But the thing that's more concerning is no holding of the brakes there. Cars just rolling around the track. So we are under yellow at the moment. We have people around that we can talk to. We just want to see what's happening. I'm actually going to bring up the leader of the race and see what is happening at the moment. And currently we have brought up into the booth. I thought you were the leader of the race, Andy, but you were literally on my relative before. But Andy Barber, mate, have you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, mate.
Mate, how's the race travelling from your end? Pretty exciting, no doubt. We're 53 into 130, and there's been 3 or 4 cautions so far, so it definitely hasn't been green flag racing, but how's the race planning out from your end?
Yeah, not too bad. I got past lap 3 this race, so that's a bonus. So I suppose every lap after this is a bonus, but got lucky with that last caution and just missed that wreck. So, yeah, I guess it's just a little bit of perseverance and trying to be there towards the end.
Yeah, definitely, mate. You've been doing a great job. I brought you up because your new relative, you were showing P1, and I thought you were leading the race, and I brought you up. But, mate, you're keeping your car clean, and this is what it's about. Like you said, you got into a wreck in lap 3 of the first race. So you've now done about 50 extra, so you must be happy about that.
Yeah, most definitely. But I'm keeping good company around here, so it's great.
No worries, mate. Well, we'll let you go up and concentrate, and thank you for making yourself available here on the InterSim Esports Network for the Australasian Supercar eSeries, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the broadcast, mate.
Let's hope so. Cheers, guys.
No worries. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. There's Andy Barber here on the InterSim Esports Network for the Australasian Supercar eSeries here on a Sunday night. Andy Barber sitting there in P10. Paul, mate, how good is it to be able to have these drivers to be able to come up and have a chat to us while they're mid-race?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's a lot easier for them under caution to have a bit of a chat with us rather than in the mix when they're going door to door, bumper to bumper. But yeah, it's definitely, it brings it brings a lot more to a broadcast, having the drivers jump in, getting involved as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's great. It's absolutely amazing. But we see the owner of the league now in P3, Raymond Yeager, on the inside there with your nicely painted livery, mate. Brett Campbell there at a P1. He's going to bring us to the green. Daniel Heddersheed is back there, who's on the outside of the front row at the moment. That is Mackenzie on the outside of the front row. So we are about to go green again, Paul, here for the next round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. But, mate, we're only 50-odd laps into 130, and it hasn't disappointed so far.
definitely not. As we expected, there's always a plenty of racing action going on.
Yeah, definitely. As we're about to go green again for the next instalment here, round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we are green, green, green as we go 2 wide, nearly 3 wide into P1. Raymond Yeager on the inside. He's got his teammate on the outside there. I believe that might be Greg Spencer or Justin Witcher. I'm sorry, my internet is playing up again on the tower, so I'm just trying to... It was Justin Witcher who was trying to go 3 wide, and now we are 3 wide here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to have a caution. We're going to have a... Oh, great save. There it is. There it is. And that was Raymond Yeager. Great save there by Raymond Yeager. Brett Campbell there got caught into that incident. There we go. That's what guys... They need to really just calm it down a little bit and put their cars in a position to be able to win this race. But Darren McKenzie at the front, who's great in these cars in an oval, or great in these cars in general, or in an oval. He's a great driver. Sam Katakuzanos in second. Capel third. Nankervis with a great drive in fourth, trying to get around that. Daniel Heddersheed also doing a great job in 5th place. So interesting to see what damage Witcher and Raymond Yeager got out of that, but that was really unfortunate for Raymond, putting himself back into P14. Paul?
Yeah, I think on that restart, it actually looked like Brett and even Darren might have missed the start there. It was quite a slow takeoff on the start there. Obviously the drivers can go when that pace car comes off, I think, and set the start, but they ran that out to the green, and I think they even missed that a little bit, as Brett did get a little bit swamped there. But yeah, on going 3 wide on the first couple of corners there, getting a bit crazy, and I think he just run up wide, but hats off to all the drivers for keeping those cars straight, and even just sacrificing a few positions to keep the race going.
Yeah, definitely, and we might bring someone else up in here now at the moment, just purely because I think it's a good time to be able to chat to them. I'll move them to the broadcast booth, and Sam, if you do have a copy, you can take your mic off mute. I just don't want to make it so you don't know what we're doing. But Sam Katakuzanos, you got a copy?
Sorry, I realised it's push to talk in the server. How you going?
Yeah, good mate, good. Mate, second place in the IndySim Esports Network Switch-Up Series, and now you're second place on the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Thank you for letting us jump on board with you at the moment as you run around in P2 behind Darren McKenzie there, mate.
Yeah, it's good fun. Bit hairy at moments, watching other people touch up each other, and you're just hoping and praying it doesn't come over to your side of the track and get collected. But so far, so good. Fingers crossed, no commentator's curse or driver's curse to finish me off. I'd like to finish on podium, would be good.
Nah, mate, we'll give you no commentator's curse. We won't even commentate on where we think you'll come or whatever, but you're doing a great job at the moment there in P2, right there behind Darren McKenzie, Jamie Nankervis behind you, Justin Witcher and Capel there. But you two have got a little bit of a gap on the on the gap behind you at the moment. And you know as well as I do, in these supercars, that's a really, really big thing around an oval. So if this thing goes green, it's looking really good for you and Darren.
I'm deliberately not fighting Darren. I've decided to stay behind him, try and take my optimum line so that we can both have our optimum racing line and just keep going forwards, and anyone that's fighting behind us, it's to their loss. So if we could keep doing this, we could have a battle for ourselves towards the end. Don't know. So many yellows have come up. I'm pretty sure there's going to be one or more coming later, but for now, I'm happy to hold this position.
No, well, great job, mate. You're always sensational at everything you drive. And above all, you're an absolute gentleman. And thank you for allowing us to bring you up here on the IndySim Esports Network. So thank you, Sam. And ladies and gentlemen, and Paul, there you go. Sam Katakuzanos bringing us live here on the IndySim Esports Network for the second round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. So there we go. There it is. As you see P2 right in front of you, he was talking from his cockpit. So thank you, Sam, and we'll talk to you shortly.
Have a good one, boys.
There we go, PJ. P2, right there, right behind Darren McKenzie in the thick of it.
Yeah, and as Sam said, you know, he's just sitting there behind Darren, not fighting him, and they are actually building a bit more of a lead over P3 at the moment, Justin Witcher. So they're starting to pull that gap, yep.
They definitely are, Paul. They definitely are, and Sam hit the nail on the head. He wasn't going to fight. He's just going to sit in behind. But I think next time we go on board with a driver, when they go, I reckon we put them in the cockpit so we can get the viewers to see what it's like in the cockpit while they're driving and see what they're doing. But at the moment, that doesn't really matter. We've got Justin Witcher there in third. He's got Jamie Nankervis right behind him in fourth. Capel fifth. Barry Neal in sixth, who's trying to do a little bit of a recovery drive at the moment. Daniel Heddersheed in seventh. Adam Malone in eighth, Greg Spencer in ninth, Gary Wellman in 10th. So from the drivers we were talking earlier in this race, it's sort of been mixed up a little bit. It's people that have been keeping it clean, but these two at the front have kept a really, really clean set of heels. But if these guys behind actually start working together, I think, Paul, they can drag those leaders in.
Yeah, I think it'll take a lot of work, but if they take on the same approach that Sam's running there, just sitting behind Darren, pushing them along, if they all form up in a line instead of running separate lines there, as we see, one high, one low sort of thing, they might be able to bring that back a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think they could, but the way that we just heard Sammy K, the way he was thinking of driving behind Darren, I don't think that they're going to give away too much, because Darren's probably going to try and run at the front, but Sam's not going to try and pass. So they're probably going to make this lead a little bit bigger as we see Barry trying to make the move now on the inside. So Barry's not trying to sit back at the moment. He's trying to get that track position a little bit. He definitely is faster than some of these guys at some points, so he's probably just trying to get that car into track position to try and move up and get his car into position to be able to make that move through the pit stop. I'll guarantee you that that's what Barry's thinking right now. He's trying to get as much track position as he can now, so then he can make that pit stop call to be able to challenge for the leaders at the end. Paul, correct me if I'm wrong. He's your teammate, but I reckon that's what Barry's doing.
Generally, as our conversations usually go, you know, Barry is one that really looks after his tyres and does have a lot of pace out there. So I don't think he'll be wanting to sit back there for much longer. He'll be wanting to try and reel in Sam and Darren before they get too much of a lead.
Yeah, but do you think with him getting caught up in this now, Paul, like I said, do you think he's trying to get in front and then try and just position his car into a good place to have a good pit strategy? Because if he doesn't get in front and make at least half a second or a second on the guys in front, that if it does go green to the end, which I strongly doubt it without wanting to put the commentator's curse on, he's probably not going to be in a position to win the race at the moment. So do you think he's trying to get in front, get that little bit of a gap, which is going to be really hard because he's got about 8 cars around him in the draft, but try and get that pit strategy on the guys in front, because if it does go green for the end, the way that he's going to be able to catch those leaders is going to be the undercut.
Yeah, but the other thing you got to watch out for, as you know, if you're running in the front there, and because there's no one else in front, he's going to be burning up a little bit more fuel than some of the others just sitting behind in this mid-pack here as well. So that could affect him a little bit, needing to take more fuel on board as well in a pit stop.
Yeah, do you think that's where it might be solid for Barry to sit in there behind Justin at the moment and try and play that same card and just try and keep that fuel a little bit? Because we know that Sammy K at the front there in P2 is playing that card. Darren's obviously setting the pace at the front, and it's going to be relative to him on what he's doing. But we're not in the car at the moment, so Barry's definitely a wisey fox. Like he knows what he's got under him, but he could possibly try and save a little bit of fuel as well and sit in there behind Justin. But this is a Australasian Supercar eSeries, and these guys never sit in behind each other. So we don't know what we're about to see for the next 50 laps.
As I said, I think he's wanting to get to the front of this pack, utilise his speed that he does have, and try and pull away and catch up to Sam and Darren at the front there, and just hope that there's a caution if he doesn't get there to bring him back in, or to bit of a shoulder barge there on Justin Witcher there out of the corner. But yeah, I think. Yeah, if he can get there, then it might pay off if there's a caution.
Yeah, I think it might as well. Barry Neal's a great driver. He's definitely great at what he does. So we'll see whether they can drag up. But we can't take anything away at the moment, Paul, from 1 and 2, Darren McKenzie. Oh, as we were just about to see Barry get into the side. But it looks like Sam Kay has just dropped off the back of Darren McKenzie at the moment. So Darren, who usually will be the first person to say he is not the best at saving his tyres, but he's got a lot better at it lately, and he is a great driver. He's pulling away from Sammy K at the moment, so that's really surprising. I don't know if Sammy K knows something we don't with the fuel, and he's maybe doing something. We saw that in our switch-up series where he did something similar with the fuel, but Darren McKenzie's pulled a nice little gap there on Sam Katakuzanos. So Darren's showing clean set of heels at the front here, Paul.
Yeah, he's blown out almost 1.5 seconds there on Sam. So he did put a bit of a window there. But again, maybe Sam just knows something we don't. And he is actually closing that gap a little bit down to 1.1. So maybe he's just trying to save a bit of fuel and keep on the back of that toe, just at the back there, and see what happens.
Yeah, I think he is. I definitely think he's backed off and trying to save some fuel. Just staying in that draft a little bit so it doesn't hurt him too much, but definitely staying in that draft right in there behind Darren McKenzie. Darren McKenzie's doing all the hard work at the moment at the front, going with his fuel, but Darren knows a lot more than we do, obviously, because we're not in the driver's seat. But Paul, currently as we go through the grid, the results or the current standings, we have Darren McKenzie in P1, Sam Katakuzanos in P2, Justin Witcher P3, who's now been taken, I believe, by Barry Neal. Up into P3, Justin Witcher P4. This is the battle pack right here. If we're going to get a caution to the back end of as we go 3 wide into turn 1 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, if we are about to get a caution, I think this is where it's going to come from.
Oh, and just saw there Barry getting into the side there, maybe a little bit of Greg, as it was 3 wide almost, and who did they push up high there?
Yeah, that was Jamie Nankervis. It looked like Jamie just opened his steering wheel a little bit there, trying not to get into trouble, and unfortunately it just sucked his car up into the wall, so he's going to have a little bit of damage from that, but unfortunate for Jamie there. But this is definitely the battle pack as we move in to the mid to back end of this race, Paul.
Yeah, that's it. If it does go green, then what do we got? We've got probably about 8 cars here, all fighting for that 3rd spot podium.
Yeah, most definitely. And we've still got to go through another pit stop yet, so there's a long way to go. I can't quite see how many laps we are in. We're 82 into 130, so I'm sure they need to do another pit stop before we get into the back end of this race and start calling it. So, yeah, great job by all the drivers here on the Supercar eSeries, Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the InSim Esports Network. But another big shout out to our sponsors really quickly. Naming right sponsor, it is actually the Ray Wright Rural Gander Australasian Supercar eSeries. So thank you to Ray Wright Rural Gander for sponsoring the series here on the Australasian Supercar eSeries, and we're just lucky enough to bring it to you here on the InSim Esports Network. And for everyone looking for rural properties or any properties that way up in the northern area of Queensland, jump on and support Ray Wright Rural Gander and get amongst it. Also, Witcher Electrics, Justin Witcher, as you see in the picture at the moment, just above Greg Spencer with Barry Neal in the middle. He has come on board and sponsored the series as well. So jump on if you're down in Melbourne, get amongst that. If you need any of your electrical needs, jump on and get a hold of Witcher Electrics and they will come and sort you out. Also, AP Esports, my streaming network, I've come and supported just to give the winners trophy, just purely to give back to the iRacing leagues and all the drivers that support us in our iRacing endeavours and everything that we do. So nothing about self-promotion, just purely about giving back to the iRacing community. So, but if you do want to, jump onto Facebook, AP Esports, Ape Sports, watch me run around and do my thing. And if you want to give a like, do that as well. So otherwise, Paul, we are 86 laps into 130 and it looks like those two guys at the front have a clean set of heels at the front at the moment.
Yeah, they've definitely checked out up the front here, and got I think Ruben there on the back of Sam Katz, who might have made a pit stop or something, but he's a lap down there, so he'll be looking to try and stay here and try and get his lap back on the leaders, I think.
Yeah, definitely. He must have a different strategy at the moment, but we might bring someone up into the broadcast booth in a moment. I just want to look at what is the right time to do that, because it is definitely one of the most concentrating times in a race now, so we don't want to throw anyone under the bus. But we do have Darren McKenzie, Sam Katakuzanos, Barry Neal in P3, Greg Spencer in P4. But we might just see what we can do here. If we just have a look at where Greg Spencer is in relative to people, just to have a look. It looks like him and Justin Witcher are having a great job with Christopher Finlay at the moment, so we won't interrupt that racing. But yeah, very interesting at how it's all going at the moment. We might pull up someone else and just have a chat with them. And we've just moved up Brett Campbell into the broadcast booth. And Brett, have you got a copy, mate?
Yeah, copy.
Mate, how's your race going so far? Spoke to you a little bit earlier and all that type of stuff. So how's your race going so far? We're 90 laps into 130. We haven't spoken about you a lot on the broadcast apart from all the other stuff going on. But how's your race going so far?
Oh, mate, I'm just taking it easy. Learned from a few mistakes last week, so I'm just trying to keep my nose clean this week.
How do you think the racing's been so far tonight, though, mate? Pretty clean compared to last week at Talladega. It seems like it's gone green a little bit longer as we got those couple of cautions done early. Yeah, how do you think the racing's been? You've obviously recently just jumped on and supported this series, and it's great to see you in here. And yeah, how's the racing gone for you tonight?
Yeah, mate, like I said, I'm just trying to keep my nose clean, and so far I've managed to do it. And yeah, I'm just poking along, trying to keep out of trouble.
do have to ask you there on the one of the restarts there when you're P1 on that restart. Not sure if you were aware or not if you could go before the green on the restart, leader on the restart, but you did run that out to the green, I think. And did you actually miss that restart as well?
Bit of missed it. Everybody else was on new drive tyres. I inadvertently missed my drive tyres on the early caution, and yeah, I'm running around on old drives.
Well, that explains it there, Paul. That explains exactly what happened on the restart there. But Brett, mate, well, we got you up in the broadcast booth. Mate, anyone you want to make a big shout out to, anything you want to have a chat about, we'll let you go back and concentrate in a minute on your race at hand. But any shout outs you want to do while you're on the broadcast to everyone viewing here on the IndySim Esports Network?
Mate, I just want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast, and I want to thank Ray White for coming on board and supporting the series as well.
No worries, mate. I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much, and it's our pleasure, Paul. And you'll be more to say that as well. It's our pleasure to bring this to everyone watching the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. So, thank you, mate. We see you get a little bit of pressure from behind now, so we'll let you go up and enjoy your race, and hopefully, we're talking to you at the end.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
No worries. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Brett Campbell right here on the IndySim Esports Network for the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. So, Paul, there we go. Another driver that's made himself available tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have a bit of a chat here and there with a variety of drivers, and you know, it's not about where they're running either in the results. You know, so it's always good just to have a chat and, you know, let them have a bit of a chat and their thoughts and views and shout outs and that as we go around.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to bring another one down now just purely because this is all about him. And he had a bit of a rough night tonight, but he's still in here in the chat, and we need to have a chat to him, I think. So I'll move him down at the moment, and we'll have a chat to him. So I'm sure he won't mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've just brought down Raymond Yeager into the broadcast booth. Raymond, mate, have you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, mate.
Mate, if you're too busy, let us know, and we won't talk to you. We can see.
No, we're right.
See your teammate on the outside. But, mate, back up into P10, doing a great job at the moment. You got caught up in the incident earlier, which definitely wasn't your fault from what we saw from a broadcast perspective. But into P10, doing a nice recovery drive at the moment, mate, with Justin helping you out on the outside there.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal, obviously, but not too much damage. Only had 8 seconds, so don't think it's hurt the car too much. Yeah, trying to get back up the front, but I killed those tyres pretty bad coming from the back to get close to the front, so just got to manage them a little bit better this time around.
And, mate, first series out, second round, nearly had a 40-car grid. Like, this is sensational for the second round of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries, and we're so proud to bring it to you, and actually absolute pleasure to bring it to you on the IndySim Esports Network. But, mate, some great news during the week or last week with Ray White Rural Gander jumping on board and being the naming rights sponsor of this series. So great job by them. So not only you and Greg and all the guys that are involved in your team to bring this to all the drivers, getting some great quality businesses in behind your series, and that just goes to show how good your series is and what you're doing, mate. So well done. Yeah,
massive thanks to Peter, who reached out actually and asked if we were looking for any sponsors, and obviously we were. So yeah, really happy to have him on board as a naming rights sponsor. Obviously, Pete, I think he did get in. He had some issues with his internet earlier, but got in the race. He loves this sort of racing, so glad that he could come on board, and yeah, glad he's out here having a go.
Yeah, mate, it's great. It's great to see, and it's great to see from the iRacing community, and we're all friends on iRacing, and there's so many series, so many broadcasters, so many everything, and it's really great to see the likes of these leagues get up there and get these sponsors and get these things going. Because at the end of the day, Raymond, you know as well as I do, Paul do, Prue, and everyone around that is a part of iRacing is. These things don't happen without people joining and without people supporting. So we do thank everyone that is a part of it. And Raymond, we thank you from the InterSim Esports Network for allowing us to be a part of it. And we'll continue to thank you for the next 10 rounds, mate, because it is great racing and we can't wait to call the final final 28 laps, mate. So thank you for making yourself available. We'll let you go back up into your race and concentrate. And hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the race.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Just want to say thanks for broadcasting again, guys. You do a great job. And obviously, thanks to all the drivers, man. 35 cars out here tonight for our second round and I mean, we've only had 3 cautions. Fantastic effort from everyone. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty much done in this race, though, unfortunately, but that's okay.
That's right, mate. You've had a big 36 hours on iRacing, mate. So just get through this one. And yeah, mate, great job for round 2 of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries. Great interest and absolute great series. And it's a pleasure to broadcast. So thank you so much. And hopefully talk to you at the end of the race.
No worries, mate. Cheers for that. And hopefully the end of the race is as good as those first 50 or so laps.
No worries, mate. We'll let you go back up and concentrate. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, mate.
Well, there we go, PJ. There is Raymond Yeager, the owner of the league, but I know what you're concentrating on now because it looks like we've had a change for the league.
Yeah, not only that, but we've had pretty much majority of the field have pit stops, and besides Sam Katakizinos.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking earlier, Paul. I was thinking, here he goes now. See, there we go. You've just named it. So he's going into the pits. So he was trying to stretch out his fuel as long as he could. So what do you reckon here? Let's do the commentator's curse because that's what we do. Like, that's our job, yeah? So Sam Katakizunos, Darren McKenzie is now taken the lead. Barry Neal.
No, still needs to take another lap back here.
So. Oh, yep, sorry. Darren's got to do another lap. But Darren's going to be very close to taking the lead. Barry Neal. So it's pretty much going to be between those 3, I think. Who's your call into the final 20 laps of this race?
Well, you've got Darren obviously closing that gap down on Sam now. He's just coming out of the pits. But you've also got Justin Witcher right on the back of Barry Neal there as well. So it's
Justin might have played himself into this, Paul.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hot one for P1 and 2, but also P3. So it could be anyone's here at the moment.
I reckon Sammy K needs to update his profile pic, but good looking rooster there, Sammy K, but looks like he's got out in front of the guys behind, but they're going to definitely get the draft up onto the back of him, but Sammy's going to have better tyres, but that's Reese May in behind Sammy K at the moment. So we'll just wait for iRacing to settle down and get all those relatives sorted out, but I don't know if I'm looking at something different to you, Paul, but I believe Sam might be leading this one.
Yeah, so Sam K in P1, Reese May there is laps down back in P23, and obviously Darren McKenzie right there in the back on P2 there. So Sam and Darren, it's going to be a scrap race here for the final 22 odd laps.
This is definitely the race for the win, Paul, I think.
Yep, and there's definitely a race here as well for that P3 on the podium. So Barry Neal and Justin Witcher. And
who have they got in front of them as well? Yeah, that's Brett by the sounds of it as well. So Brett's let them go. So it's going to be a 2-horse battle for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 for the second round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, brought to you right here on the IndySim Esports Network. So looking forward to seeing how that's going. At the moment, Reese May's going backwards. He's just letting people go at the moment. Looks like he is going to just try and keep his car clean, but in saying that, he didn't open his steering wheel there. So Phelpsy's moved himself up into P10, which is really good from Ruben Phelps. So we haven't spoken about Ruben all night, so he's just slowly moved his car up there into P10. So don't know what he did strategy-wise, but he's inside the top 10 now. Oh, as we see one of the Pinnacle Sim Racing cars nearly into the wall. I believe that was Nigel Payton. So that was very unfortunate. So that's another couple of spots there for Ruben, if Ruben can get down on the inside now. So, yeah, mate, we're 111 into 130. Second round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries, IndySim Esports Network. Paul, second time together actually commentating. Hope we've gone well tonight for you viewers and everything. It's been a little bit dicey with the first session not going up properly and a few network issues. But Paul, I've enjoyed commentating with you once again, and I can't wait to call the next 20 laps.
Yeah, hopefully I've slotted in as a co-commentator well here. But one thing we didn't actually do tonight was our prediction who was going to win this race. But it's only one of two picks really here between Darren and Sam. So what? Oh,
well, it's not going to be Darren. Sorry, that was Sam.
Yeah, I think Darren got a bit of a run on the inside there, but washed up a little bit into Sam, pushing him into the wall. So,
well, that was unfortunate. You talk about commentator's curse, Paul. You just did that right then. See that? See what you did? Commentator's curse.
Have a look at this though. Barry and Justin's caught right back up on the back of Sam and Darren here. Though there's only a second between them now.
So do you want my prediction now?
Yeah, definitely.
So my prediction for the winner of round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries is Justin Witcher, Barry Neal P2. You're going to be a bit biased, I know you're going to be biased. But, yeah, I reckon it's now Sam's obviously got a lot of damage. Barry Neal's definitely going to move that Atora Racing car, and see how I tried to pronounce it, up into P2. Now Justin's going to follow him into P3. So these two guys are going to work really hard, and I guarantee you Darren McKenzie's eyes are going to be the size of bowling balls looking in the rearview mirror, because Barry Neal and Justin Witcher are going to run him down at 1,000,000 miles an hour, Paul. So where's your call now, mate? I know what you're going to go, but where's your call?
Well, I definitely have to put the P1 onto Barry here. That's been a great drive there, almost 6 seconds back to close that gap on
and
Darren
just as good from
Sam.
Justin too as well, mate. We can't take that away from Justin. He was sitting there as well, so just as good from Justin. So Barry now makes the move for P1 with 116 laps down, 130. Justin Witcher moving under the inside of Darren McKenzie. Oh my God, how was this race panned out, Paul? 5 minutes ago, they were 6 seconds down, and now they're about to take 1 and 2 at round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the IndySim Esports Network.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for Sam, obviously dropping back there. He was looking solid for a podium finish there, but my wondering is how much has Justin been saving those tyres at the back there of Barry, pushing him all the way up there? Has Barry been chewing those tyres off as he washes up a little bit high there? But we know Barry is a master of saving those tyres and getting great pace, but has Justin done enough saving behind him to make a move for that P1 in the last legs of this race?
Yeah, I'm sure we're about to find that out, Paul. I wish we could bring them up and have a little bit of a chat and see what's happening. We might be able to do that, actually. So we might have a little bit of a chat to Justin and see. I'm sure he'll be able to have a chat to us, but we'll see how we go. But we do have Justin up in the broadcast booth, and Justin, do not reply to us because I know you're concentrating now on P1, P2, but if you are happy to chat, just say copy.
Yeah, copy.
Mate, you're 6 seconds down on Darren McKenzie and Sammy K, and you and Barry were working really well together there to get up to the front, and you've only got 10 laps to go, mate. How's your tyres? Do you think you got something for Barry?
Yeah, I hope so. We'll just keep it as we are at the moment and hopefully put on a show towards the end.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. Sorry if we brought you up here without giving you any notice, but we always know that you're really good to be able to have a chat to and bring us a little bit of content, but we don't want to take away from your concentration. So, but real quickly, mate, from us at Intersim Esports Network, just a big thank you for making yourself available, and also thank you from Witcher Electrics to be a part of the series and sponsor the series as well. So we do appreciate that, but I'm not going to bag on about that yet. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to you about that in victory lane, or at least P1, 2, 3 at the end, and we'll let you go up and concentrate and see whether you can get the win over Barry.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
No worries, Justin. Have a great night, mate, and we'll talk to you shortly. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Witcher, P2, currently fighting for the win here on the Intersim Esports Network in the second round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Paul, there we go. There's Justin Witcher. So we got Justin Witcher against your teammate at the moment, mate. So here we go. Here is 8 laps of mayhem.
Can you look at those temps real quick?
Oh, and here's the caution. Oh, they've missed it too. And here's the caution.
Yeah, great job there. I thought Barry was going to plough straight into that for a minute.
It looked like he was going to, didn't it?
Yeah, we might just have to jump to a replay on that.
Yeah,
but that's a bit unfortunate though for Barry and Justin, because that's going to bring Darren right back into the mix of this. But also Raymond Yeager and
Sammy K will get his damage fixed as well.
Yeah, so definitely not what Barry and Justin were wanting here right now.
No, they definitely had 1 and 2. And I didn't give the commentator's curse there because they weren't in an incident. But it feels like every time I do talk to them, there is an incident. But anyway.
Right, let's go have a look at what happened.
Yeah, let's do that, mate. Ben Stewart's got... No, that's not the one. Ben Stewart's got loose out of the pits. Hopefully he's kept... Hopefully he hasn't driven up in front of everyone. No. Kept it low, coming out of 2 and 3... 1 and 2. No, he's... Oh. Yeah. Oh. So Ben Stewart was a part of the incident. Oh, on the brakes. Just waiting to see what happens here.
Yeah, don't.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're just waiting to see what happens with the incident. Yeah, I think we've got to go back a bit further. I think the incident had already come out. Ah, there we go. There it is right there. Scotty McClintock up into the outside wall, straight down on the inside. So unfortunate for the driver that's on the inside there, and that's pancaked that left front. So it looks like that is night done.
Yeah, that should look like
that's actually Jamie Nankervis. Jamie Nankervis off the wall. Straight down into Scotty McClintock. So very unfortunate there from Scotty, and don't know what Jamie was doing up there. I know he was probably trying to be a little bit safe, but at least he held the brake there. But very unfortunate there for Scotty McClintock to get involved in that accident, and very unfortunate for Jamie Nankervis also, Paul, rather, because he had a really strong race early.
Yeah, we hadn't really talked much about Jamie tonight either after his P2 result last week.
Yeah, he was up in P5 early. He was doing a great job early. Don't know what happened with the accidents earlier and all that type of stuff and strategy, but knowing Jamie, he would have just been running around trying to do his thing and get back there and consolidate the championship points. But I tell you what, Paul, we're only 126 into 120-30, that's a lot of laps. 126 this time round into 130. And the points are definitely going to shape up a little bit different. So can't wait to see how that's going to happen. But Finlay's having another great drive tonight. So he's up there in P6. Not sure whether the pace car lights are out at the moment. I think they're still open. No, they're... yep, they're on. So we might actually have a chat to another driver at the moment before we go green. Just that's what we do here on the IndySim Esports Network. And we have just brought up Ruben Phelps. Ruben, mate, you got a copy?
Sure do.
Mate, my teammate, I must say, we've talked about Barry Neal a bit tonight. So about time to give you a bit of time to shine. But... mate, haven't seen you up the front a lot tonight, but how's your race panned out so far?
It's been, yeah, definitely you're right there. I haven't really done anything in this race, but been just casually cruising at the back, just trying a couple of alternative strategies just to keep out of the mess. And I think I'm not have the best tyres right now, but I think there's a few guys that have done tyres from earlier, so aim is a top 10 right now. I think I've managed to do that pretty well, but I'm not unsure about that caution, as I was just looking after my stuff, but we'll see what happens here. It'll be chaos, I reckon. I can see an incident here or two.
All right, mate. No worries. Well, we're about to go green, so we'll let you go up there, but send it home. I'll be cheering you on, as Paul will, Barry, and we cheer on everyone here on the IndySim Esports Network. So best of luck, mate. We'll let you go green.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Paul, there we go. There is Ruben Phelps there here on the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries as Barry Neal's about to take us to the flag for the final 4 laps of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries here right on the IndySim Esports Network. And Barry Neal gets a massive jump there on Darren McKenzie, Justin Witcher, Raymond Yeager, Sam Katakouzanos, Christopher Finlay. But Barry Neal's left himself a little bit high and dry at the moment, because you'll see Justin Witcher get a big run. Oh, Barry gets really loose there off to Justin Witcher, gets a great run down on the inside into P2 there under, can't see who that is at the moment, Darren McKenzie. So Justin Witcher, who we spoke to earlier, is right there and he's ready to pounce on the back of Barry Neal. Paul, Barry Neal, your teammate, is he going to be able to hold on to this P1 as we go into the final 3 laps of this race?
I think he was definitely doing a bit of a smart move there, coming off high, down low, trying to break that toe down the back straight there, because he did see Justin coming, and as Justin's trying to get around the outside of him now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with these guys. These two are great drivers, and guess what? The more these battle, guess who's looming up in the background? Gregory Spencer in P3, Raymond Yeager. They're going to catch up, but we're 2 laps to go here on the second round of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries here on the IndySim Esports Network, but we need to concentrate on these leaders. So we're a lap and a half to go. Justin Witcher's looking for which way, next way he can get around. He's going to try around the outside. I don't think he's going to do it around the outside. He's going to have to back it up and get it down out of 3 and 4 on the last corner, like he was just feigning to there. He's waiting to do it, but he's going to try and get it around the outside. But all this is helping is Spencer and Yeager behind them. But Justin Witcher moving around the outside now of Barry Neal. Barry Neal, Justin Witcher, side by side as we go down the back straight on the final round of round 2 of the series. Here we go. Justin Witcher, he is around the outside of Barry Neal. Barry Neal holding it nice and tight. Justin Witcher's trying to get that late run. Looks like Barry Neal's got it. Justin's going to try and get the undercut. No, he's not. Barry Neal is going to get the win at round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries right here on the InterSim Esports Network. And Paul, Justin, if he would have drove that a little bit smarter, he could have got Barry there with a little bit undercut. Barry was very smart where he positioned his car, but what a drive by Barry Neal.
Definitely, Barry Neal up 17 spots starting from P18 to take the win. And Justin, though, definitely a great drive from Justin Witcher as well, starting back in P30, I think, there, or P28. He was up, up 30 odd spots there as well to put that on P2. But as we see Barry Neal a bit excited there, he's cutting sick now.
Yeah, cutting some skids, mate. But well done to you and your team there, mate. I know we're broadcasters. I know you'd be absolutely chuffed with that. So that is great for Barry Neal. And actually, Greg Spencer there in P3 too. What a great drive from Greg Spencer tonight, getting a P3 there after a big, long 24 hours for him.
Yeah, that's it. Greg, Raymond, Justin, Nigel, and also myself. We done a few laps there in the latest stint of the Spa 24-hour last night. So it was definitely hard work, I know, running at 2 o'clock in the morning after running Weekend Warriors as well. I was falling asleep at the wheel there, so...
Yeah, mate, it was definitely long 24 hours. We tried to do a 24-hour with each other as well, so yeah, it definitely was, mate. But that's iRacing, and it's what it is, mate. These guys keep turning up, and this is the great thing, and this is what we love about the iRacing community. So yeah, mate, we'll just quickly bring the guys up into the broadcast booth at the moment, and I'll just move them up here.
That's all right. I'll run through our round 2 results while you're doing that. So, taking round 2 win is Barry Neal in P1 with Justin Witcher in P2, and Greg Spencer finding himself on the podium in P3. Raymond Yeager P4, our round 1 winner. Christopher Finlay backing it up with a pretty solid drive there in a P5, and his teammate Gary Wellman in P6. P7 Ruben Phelps, P8 Andy Barber, P9 Troy Davidson, and rounding out the top 10 Evan Horsell. P11 Peter Matson, Sam Catt, P12 Darren McKenzie, P13 Michael Shaw, P14 Adam Malone, P15 Nigel Padden, P16 Lachlan Capel in P17, and Reese May P18.
And as we move over to P19, Terry Marwood, who was up there early, he is in P19. Shannon Wright, P20. Ben Stewart, P21. Mick Rush, P22. 23 is Brett Campbell. P24 is Jamie Nankervis, who was up there all night and had a very unfortunate end to his race, but there in P24. Scotty McClintock in P25. Daniel Heddersheed in P26, who was up there early as well. First night out in the series tonight, so thank you, Daniel Heddersheed, for getting amongst that, and the guys appreciated you jumping into it. Unfortunate it didn't work out the way that you planned, but P26 for you tonight. P27 Scott Perkins, and rounding out P28 was Todd Maxfield. P29 Jaden Russell, who was up there early as well. P30 Dylan Gray, Cade Donnelly 31, Aaron Dillon 32, Dwayne Priest 33, Stevie Williams, who had an unfortunate incident earlier, in 34, and Justin Howe rounding out the field in 35. Well, Paul, that's the field, and mate, round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries brought to you here on the InterSim Esports Networks. It didn't disappoint. We were waiting and seeing what was going to happen, and where all the drivers happened early and where they were positioned was definitely not where it was at the end. So it's exactly what we anticipated. But around Atlanta, it was definitely totally different to Talladega, but it was a great race nonetheless, and great to bring to everyone here on the InterSim Esports Network.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few unhappy drivers with that last caution coming out, especially Darren and Sam. Unfortunately, finding themselves back in P12 and 13 when Darren had a potential podium there.
Yeah, definitely. Justin and Barry were definitely going to run for the win. I think, well, that caution beforehand, Sam got into the wall afterwards. It was definitely going to be Sam and Darren. But, hey, this is oval racing, and that's what happens. And it's actually really weird to see Sam so far back after that. He must have got a lot of damage. But without a further ado, Paul, we might bring the top 3 place getters up into the broadcast booth and have a chat to the guys.
Yeah, so P3, Greg Spencer, what a good drive there. You started out of P6 and found yourself on the podium.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I actually qualified P6 and I decided to start out of pit lane. I thought there might have been a little bit rough up the front there. So, very happy to get to third. It's probably my best drive in a very long time.
Well, Greg, Aiden here, mate. You've had a very busy iRacing 24, 36 hours. You really have. So to be able to jump on that and to do a result like that is really amazing. Because I know how tired you'd be. But, mate, we didn't really call you much in the broadcast, so you weren't really there. But when it counted, you were there and you were running up the front. So, mate, amazing job and a great drive to get in a P3 there, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Aiden. Big weekend, doing 24-hour and then to Atlanta for the supercars. I'm happy. The Witcher Electrics Commodore was working well tonight. You might not have seen me up the front, but the other Witcher Electrics Commodore was up there, so that's all good.
There were several, mate. There were several.
Yeah. We're lucky. Good sponsor.
No, mate, you just did a great job, and it's about you tonight. So you did a great job, and also Justin, it's about him as well. But you did a great.
I haven't finished on a podium. I don't think I've finished on a podium for quite a while. So, pretty stoked.
Well, mate, you've finished on a podium. You're now on a broadcast. It's all here. The limelight is yours, mate. Let everyone know. Everyone want to shout out to everything about. Actually, tell everyone about the series a little bit, because I know you've got a lot to do with the series as well with Raymond and Justin, and I know we've got different sponsors and all that type of stuff. But just have a shout out to the series, show people that are tuning in on the broadcast how they can get amongst it, the people supporting the series, all that type of stuff. Now's your time to shine.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Look, we obviously want to thank Ray White, Peter Matson for jumping on board as our major sponsor. He's a big help. We want to also thank you guys at Intersim for broadcasting and getting it out to the public. All the boys in admin, there's Justin, there's Nige, there's Ray, Maddie. We all dedicate a fair bit of time to what we do. To all the boys that are jumping in, we've got huge numbers, which is good to see. We're probably close to double what we were running in our last series. So, good, clean racing. Yeah, we had a couple of yellows, but on a whole, mate, this series is just amazing. I'm pleased Raymond Raymond does most of the work, mate. He's the driving force in the supercars. So, a big shout out to him. And that's about it. I'd like to also thank all the wives and girlfriends that put up with us jumping on a sim rig to run on a weekend. So,
amen to that.
We need to thank them because, it's no different to jumping in a real car. It's a lot of time, So, big thanks to them, mate.
No, well, I appreciate that, Greg, and well done, mate. Absolutely stellar drive tonight, and very proud of you, mate, to do that. So nice P3 tonight, and that'll get you in a good stead for next week. But Paul, anything you want to have to say to Greg before we let him go and move on to P2?
I think you pretty much covered it there mostly. Obviously, Greece spent a lot of time there in the sim over the past 24 hours with the Spa 24 as well. So I think he's looking forward to probably having a good cuppa and going to bed. Yeah.
I should also thank you, Paul, for all that time and effort, mate, you've put into doing our paints. Yeah, big thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
That's all right, mate. Happy to help.
And
Cheers.
that is the iRacing community we have here, Paul. So we're all an iRacing community. So definitely, but big congratulations there to Greg Spencer, P3 at round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here from Atlanta Motor Speedway on the Intersim Esports Network. But without further ado, we'll bring up Justin Witcher, P2. J-Dub, mate, P2 tonight. You and Barry, I thought you would have had him. We were having bets in the broadcast booth. It was purely because Barry was or is Paul's teammate, and I just need to be something different. So I was going for you. Paul was going for Barry, but P2, mate, great job.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Thanks, boys.
I have to say, if Barry wasn't there, I would have been going for you.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I wouldn't have been there without Barry. So, like we worked together. I was probably being a bit sneaky. I think he realised what I was doing, so it worked out well.
Yeah, he did, but I reckon you could have maybe instead of going high in that last lap or two, maybe try and done that last little run on the inside. But I reckon Barry might have been a little bit too wise to that as well. So, it was good to see anyway.
Nah, when we were battling mid-race, I sort of was able to get a run on him, and I could remember, by the time we hit the line, I was in front, and he obviously just come up a bit higher, and that was it. I couldn't get past.
Well, mate, good race anyway. Sam K had a bit of an incident late in the race where you and I'm not sure who was behind you. It was you and Barry that actually drove up to Darren McKenzie and Sam K at that point, and you really drove away. But that was unfortunate for them. But really good to have you guys be able to consolidate that result, because it's really switched up the results and everything. So it'll be interesting to see how these championship results do play out, and we'll see that before the end of the broadcast. But Justin, great drive, mate. After a really big 24 or even 36 hours, mate, we were on a 24-hour together, and then Paul was on one with you. Like, it's been a big sim racing weekend. So great result, mate. And before we let you go, anyone you want to have a shout out to?
Just Ray White, the major sponsor. You guys at Intersim for putting on the broadcast. Witcher Electrics sponsoring the cars, and I think that's about it.
No worries, mate. Well, thank you so much, and what a great drive there into P2 for round 2 of the Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the Intersim Esports Network. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Witcher, P2. But without further ado, Paul Jackson, I'll let you do this interview. This is all yours. Barry Neal, Paul Jackson, winner of the second round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries. Paul, interview your teammate.
Yeah, you just don't want to say the team name. That's it, isn't it?
That's exactly it. Yep.
But congratulations, Barry. P1 for Aotearoa Racing.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it. I was good for that last bit that Justin kind of stayed behind us. I think in the middle section of the race there, when Sam and Darren, I think Sam and Darren did a different tyre strategy to Justin and I, which kind of worked in our favour to the end there. But in the middle there, we were losing time to them, going side by side. So it was really good that we kind of went in a line towards the end. So that was good. And actually, it was good because I went to go and qualify, and I went out qualifying, and I found that one of my brake pedals had stuck on, and I was going around. I was thinking, why aren't I going fast enough? And one of my brake pedals had stuck on. So it was good that I sorted that before the start of the race.
I think that was just someone trying to sabotage you to slow you down. But yeah, we actually had Sam in the booth at one stage, and yeah, he did mention he was just sitting there behind Darren McKenzie, just giving him a push, not fighting him for the position. So those two could have a big breakaway from the pack, and obviously you had a larger pack there of about 8 or 10 cars there, all fighting for that third spot. So they did get a pretty good run on you, but that pit stop really caught you guys up. You chopped about half of their lead, and then somehow you and Justin working together, you just caught right back up on the back of them.
Yeah, and I think when I was watching them disappear up the road, Sam and Darren, and every lap it was 3 or 4 tenths, and I was sitting there going, "Oh, come on, boys, stay in line." But and especially when Greg decided he wanted to go 3 wide, make it 3 wide a few times, so we were slowing down, and then so I kind of was running along. I was thinking, "Oh, I need to make my pit stop soon," and I accidentally hit the pit. I went to say do my pit in, and I hit the pit lane limiter in turn 3, and it was like, oh, whoops, and I kind of someone almost collected me because I suddenly stopped. So I was a bit lucky there actually. But yeah, then when we had those new tires, I could see that we were catching them again, like 2 or 3, 4 tenths a lap. So I knew we were going to get them. It was just when we got there whether we would then be able to get past them, and it certainly seemed that once we got there we were able to.
Yeah,
mate. Sorry, Paul, you go.
No, you jump in.
No, I said most definitely there, Barry. It was a great race, mate. Me and Paul, if you go back and watch the broadcast, we weren't really talking about you a lot. We did talk about you in 3rd and 4th and thinking you were coming, and then it was literally within 5 minutes, we're like, oh my God, you guys are coming, and you were getting to the front. So great drive, mate. Absolutely great drive. Whatever you've been doing in Oval in the last 6 to 12 months, mate, you are doing a stellar job. So nothing surprising to see you there bringing the 22 car up into P1 for round 2 of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries, mate. So great drive, mate.
No, thanks. It's good to have the Aotearoa. Go on, say it. Wait a minute, Aiden. Aotearoa.
No, I won't. Don't throw me under the bus on the broadcast, Barry.
Hang on, while we're here, how about we just get the top 3 try and pronounce it?
Aotearoa.
Justin, how about you?
Aotearoa.
Aotearoa.
Yeah, well done. Both those boys are doing a good job.
Yeah, my partner's Kiwi. I'm all good.
Aotearoa.
Oh,
that's a
there you
very
go,
vast improvement there after hearing the pronunciation.
There we go. I just heard 2. Yeah. All right. Just throw me under the bus on my own broadcast. Thanks.
We'll test you next week.
No, I'll forget that. But anyway, Barry, great job tonight, mate. In all seriousness, mate, I know that's a bit of fun, but in all seriousness, great drive there. And also Justin and Greg, great podium as well. So great drive, and we look forward to seeing and hopefully talking to you guys on the podium for round 3 next week on the next round of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries.
Before we let Barry go, we'll just give Barry his time to shout out to sponsors as well.
100%, Barry.
Yes, no, thank you. Thanks to MRX Race Sims. Thanks to Raymond and Justin and Greg and the Paytons for putting the series on. You guys for running it, and my teammate for having me as a teammate. Thanks.
Certainly welcome, Barry.
No worries. Well, there we got Barry Neal, the winner of round 2 of the Australasian SUPERCAR eSeries here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. There you go, Paul. We heard it straight from the drivers there. But, mate, I don't know if we can do that right now, but we're going to try to. We might bring up the championship standings after round 2 at the moment and see where they are. I'll let you pull them through the championship standings purely because I know I've got that at the moment. So currently after round 2, and these are provisional, unofficial championship standings at the moment. Christopher Finlay still holds his lead on 72 points at the front. Justin Witcher with a big jump, 62 points into P2. Peter Matson into P3, 59 points. Troy Davidson, 58. Gary Wellman, 57. Raymond Yeager makes a big jump into P6 in 53 points. Michael Shaw with another solid drive, 52 points. Shannon Wright, 51. Darren McKenzie with a very unfortunate unfortunate end there tonight on 49 points. Jamie Nankervis, 48. Andy Barber, 47. Nigel Payton, 42. Barry Neal with a very solid night tonight. Didn't run round one, so he gets the win tonight with a 40 points. This is unofficial results, so there is going to be some bonus points, but it won't change a lot there on 40 points. Kay Donnelly, 38. Brett Campbell, 38 as well. And Scotty McClintock on 34 points, Paul.
Yep, and over the page, if I just catch up here, so Reese May with 33 points, and Dwayne Priest rounding out the top 20 there. Also with 32 points with Terry Marwood in P21, and also Adam Malone, so very close there. Ruben Phelps on 30 points in P23, Aaron Dillon and Todd Maxfield, both Simboys. Oh, if I got that right, I might have messed that one up again. I think I might have always getting the Simboys and lads mixed up here. So Evan Horswell on P27 points. Sam capped his first night out as well for round 2 on 25 points, and Dylan Gray in P28 with 23 points.
Yeah, as we roll across again as they keep going. So P29, Lachlan Capel there on 23 as well. Ben Stewart there on 16. Reese Belitho there on 15. Mick Rush, 15 points as well. Stevie Hoppett there on 12 points. Peter Apel there on 11 points. Tied with Daniel Heddersheed in his first night out tonight on 11 points. Very unfortunate night for Daniel. He was running very strong early, so he won't be happy with that, but I'm sure he'll be back next week. Scott Perkins there on 10 points. Stevie Williams with a very unfortunate incident tonight as well on 3 points. Justin Howe on 2 points in 38th position.
And that wraps up the unofficial point standings there. But speaking of next week we head to Michigan International Speedway for 100 laps.
Yeah, we do, Paul, and Michigan's a great track, so these cars around Michigan's going to be a great thing to watch, a great spectacle. If you thought tonight at Atlanta was a great spectacle, wait till you see these cars around Michigan. But then we go to Oran Park Grand Prix, which is a road course, so a little bit different that the Australasian Supercar eSeries has done this season, Paul, is they've added in a little bit of road course as well. So we're going to go road course racing for round 4 in the Supercars. So looking forward to that one at round 4, but we definitely need to get through round 3 first, but round 4 is definitely going to be exciting.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what all the guys can do on road course. Yeah,
100%. But, mate, we might have to wrap it up now. It's been a great night here on the InterSim Esports Network, and it's been a pleasure to bring all the images to you and all the vision to you of the second round of the Australasian Esports Series, Australasian Supercar eSeries, rather. My apologies. Sorry, my internet is playing up, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm just trying to look at my overlays and stuff. So the Australasian Supercar eSeries here on the InterSim Esports Network on a Sunday night. So it's been great bringing you all the images. I hope you have enjoyed everything you have seen here on the InterSim Esports Network. But really quickly before we finish it up, Paul, a big shout out to the sponsors. So it is the Australasian Supercar eSeries, brought to you by Ray White Rural in Gayndah. get on and have a look at their page and get amongst that. Also, a big shout out to Witcher Electrics, a sponsor as well, and Justin Witcher got a P2 tonight, so well done to him and his teammate Greg Spencer in P3. AP Esports also a sponsor of the league as well, so you can jump onto that and have a look at that and see all his silly streaming as well. But Paul, from myself, you, everyone at InterSim Esports Network, we thank everyone for joining us here on a Sunday night for the Australasian Supercar eSeries, and we cannot wait to see you next Sunday night at approximately 7:45 p.m. for the next round of the Australasian Supercar eSeries.
Yep, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll catch you all next week.
No worries. Thank you, mate, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you, and from everyone at InterSim Esports Network, we wish you a good night and a safe week.